Contracting companies going out of business are a dime a dozen. Don't be one of them. Watch this video. I'm going to share with you 5 big points to making sure you are financially healthy. All right, so congratulations, you found this video. Kudos to you. I've actually got 6 for you. I said 5 before, but I've actually got an extra one, bonus. 6 points to managing your finances accurately. This is a subject that I think is not studied enough by contractors, by business owners in general. So important. I have lived this before. I know how hard it can be, and it can happen to anybody. It's very easy for ups and downs in the construction industry, and very easy for not be checking your cash flow and then find yourself in very hard times. So the first thing that I'm going to mention for managing your finances is your money allocation. So as you get money coming in, you should be allocating it in by percentages. And this is based off of an idea from Profit First. It's a great book by Mike Michalowicz. I would suggest going and checking it out after this video, of course, but go check out the book Profit First. It goes into much more detail, but essentially you have a bank account, all the money for your business goes into that bank account, and from there you're going to be allocating money. So you're going to have an expense account, you're going to have a profit account, you're going to have a taxes account, you could have a charity account if you give back, with charity and things like that. A bunch of different bank accounts, but what the idea is that you aren't just having one bank account or 2 bank accounts, and as long as there's money, you're spending. You want to have an expense account so that, let's say all the revenue that comes into your business, 70% or 60% goes to paying business expenses. So that's, payroll for employees, that's overhead, that's job materials. So everything that has to do with expenses goes out of there. This is a great way because it's easy, because you can always look in your different bank accounts and know how much money you have. If you have no money in your expense account, then you know that you need to adjust the percentage allocations, and that you maybe have to take away from paying yourself personally, maybe taking away from profit, some other place, and it'll alert you really quickly to what's going on in your business without having to go into your books or really understand, accounting and all of that. Not that that's not important, but this is a great, easy way just to see where your money is and make sure that it's in the right places. Hope that makes sense to you. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If one of these sparks an interest, just drop a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I know that you enjoyed that piece of advice or topic there. So as always, give this video a thumbs up while you're at it too. Super appreciate you for doing that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because that's the best way to grow your business. All right, number 2 coming at you. We're gonna run through these. So job costing actuals. Proper job costing is like the holy grail of contracting. It'll keep you alive forever in your business and make sure you're avoiding financial ruin. And job costing is simply, how much money you made on each specific job. So, and why is this important? It's because it'll let you know when issues have arisen on certain jobs, why they arose that way. Usually it's an estimating thing. It could be, project management or efficiency thing, or maybe the project just, encountered a whole bunch of mistakes, but you don't really know how much you're making and losing per project. And later you'll have historical data that you can then see, hey, you know what? We've done a whole bunch of these types of renovations before. We've worked for this builder before, done a bunch of projects for that developer, and they always seem to be more profitable because they have, their shit together, or whatever reason, they're willing to pay a little bit better for better service. Whatever the thing is, you have that feedback and you know how healthy your business is by project. Beyond that, if you want to go a level deeper, really get into it, your job costing, not just per project, but per item. So on the framing, do we make or lose money? On the foundation, do we make or lose money? On the pre-construction, do we make or lose money? How much do we make or lose? So by knowing specifically with your cost codes and your job costing and your item costing, all of that, it just gives you a big boost financially. And like I said, it's the holy grail. It's the thing that will keep you alive because you're always ahead of the ball. You know your numbers, you're proactive. Does that make sense? Moving on to number 3. And I'm speaking all of this because I've seen it. I've seen the benefits of getting this stuff in place, and I've also lived this before. I had a moment happen to me where I was filling my truck up with gas and, scrounging for some change and some bills to pay to get some gas so I could go to my next project and figure out what was going on. And I had, hundreds of thousands of dollars running through my company, and here I am, scrounging for some change to try to fill with gas because I hadn't watched my finances properly. We had grown a ton and my cash flow was really low at the time. And it just like struck me like, how can I not, have money available when I've got like, doing such huge amounts of business? And those like really low times, like I say it now with a chuckle, but it was really, really difficult and one of the hardest times of my life. Not just that specific moment, but the period that followed with, having low cash flow and not enough money to sustain everything in the business. But those kind of low times really, it helps you realize like how important this stuff is, and managing finances properly, how important it is. So I speak from experience and I know this on a very emotional level. So getting a little positive here, let's move on to number 3. So accurate estimating. As I mentioned before, everything starts with estimating. So the way to avoid, running into financial problems starts with estimating, because how you estimate really relates to how much you're going to make on a project. If you've done a really good job estimating, then when you move into the project, you've already know that you've covered everything, it's accurate, the pricing is good, your margins are good, you're going to make money. It's just how things go, right? So if you've, rushed your estimating, you don't have a good estimating process, you have inaccuracies, whatever it may be, if you're not estimating efficiently, that will cause financial problems for you later on. So that's number 3. Moving on to number 4, external investments. So as good as your business is, as much as, I call it the farmer mentality, because the farmer gets a payday with selling his crops, and the first thing they go do is, buy a new tractor and some new cows and sheep and whatever, right? Because they're always investing in their business, which is good. You do want to invest in your business and funnel money back into growing and expanding your business. That is great. That said, you should have external investments. You should be taking profit out of your company, putting it aside somewhere where it's protected, so that even if something happened to you and you had to close your business, or something happened to your business, if your business went away, you still had investments, you still had a retirement fund, you still had a college fund for your kids, whatever it may be, that you have investments and money outside of your business that is not tied or linked, so that if something happens here, it does not affect, your wealth building and your long-term financial fitness. So very huge. There's a whole science behind that. And as you know, there's, gurus all over the place of how you and where you should invest your money. I've got my own ideas about that, but I'm not going to get to it in here. All I'm going to say is make sure that you have an investment plan and that you are systematically taking money out of the business as, your profits, and putting it aside for long-term wealth building, because that's what's going to make you anti-fragile and going to ensure that you are living well in the future. All right, so that was number 4. Moving on to number 5. Does this making sense to you? Can you see how all of these steps together really put you in an amazing financial stability place of like knowing where your company's at, having money outside, and this is like a virtuous cycle, if you will. It's like compounding interest. Once you get these things in place, you are going to be in such a good place that, sales are going to be easier, managing employees are going to be easier, your mental health is going to be easier, because even if things aren't going well, you know that you've got these systems in place, you've got money set aside. It's not going to affect you, on a deep level where, the storm clouds are there and everything is gray clouds. So number 5 is know your numbers. So the big numbers that you want to be checking regularly is your 12-month trailing profit and loss. And what I mean by 12-month trailing is that you want to look month to month what's happening in your business, but as you know, you may have got paid on the first of the month, so this month it looks like you made a ton of money, or you may have some outstanding payments from clients or whatever, so this month looks like you've lost money. You don't need to go by those statistics alone, because every month could be up or down depending on billing cycles and all this other stuff. So you want to look at the last 12 months. So let's say it is April right now. So the last 12 months of the previous 12 months, how much business did you do? Let's say you did $700,000 of business. So that was in April. In May, no, the months here. So in May, let's say you did $750,000 of revenue in the past 12 months. Well, you know that the trajectory over 12-month periods is going up. Let's say you only made $600,000. Well, you just lost a ton of money. So why is it trailing down now? And it sparks questions. But this is, by looking at 12-month periods, it's going to help you to really understand the long-term ups and downs of a business and kind of smooth out those short-term month-to-month, discrepancies of billings and seasons, very seasonal with construction, whether it's spring, summer, winter, how much business you're going to be doing. So very important. Your future work is another important statistic number to know. So how much work do you have on the books right now? How much closed business do you have for the next 3 months, 6 months, however long it may be, and your ongoing projects. Let's say you're in the middle of like $1 million house build. That means you've got about $500,000 of billables over the next, let's say, 4 months while you complete the house. And then you've got maybe 3 other multi-million dollar projects lined up. Well, then you've got, let's say $3 million of work on the books. So you're looking pretty good, depending on how big your company is. But let's say you've only got like, I don't know, $500,000 of work in the books in the next 3 months, but your business is operating at, about 5 million or something. Typically, you know that you need to really hit the phones, put out some marketing, bring in some new business. So looking at how much work you have on the books is really important, because I know so many contractors, myself included, have done this before, where it's like you have a whole bunch of big projects, things are really busy, you're just like gung-ho, like business is growing, things are going great, getting all this money coming in, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, 2 months from now, we're kind of wrapping up these projects. We don't really have much coming up. What's going on here, and you think, oh, something will fall into place. Something always comes up, right? There's always work, there's always like something that comes up. A month goes by and it's like getting a little dicey, and then all of a sudden 2 months go by and it's like, okay, we got some new leads, but there's no projects, we don't have anything to start right away, and you have this like gap, right? So that's what the future work is going to look like. And then the final touch point I'm going to touch on for know your numbers is the overhead. Overhead is very essential. If you don't know your overhead, go figure it out right now. It should be very easy for you to look at your accounting and be like, this is my overhead this month, last month, and the month before. These are the things I'm paying for in overhead. You want to go through that regularly and just make sure that you're cutting any expenses that aren't critical, things you can maybe do without or get a bit lower. And you want to make sure that your overhead is being tracked per job, and that as a percentage. So in the last year, 12 months, overhead was, let's say, $60,000. Okay, so you did say $1 million of business. So what percentage of your margins are being eaten up by that overhead? So how much is left for you to actually, live off of if you're not paying yourself a salary? How much is for if there's fluctuations in the projects and things don't go as planned? How much buffer do you have? So there's a lot that goes into knowing your overhead, and it's very important. All right, making sense. All of these, pick one to work on first, focus, get that down, move on to the next one. Come watch this video in another month or a week or whatever, but get all of these in order, and I promise you, your financial future is going to look so bright, and you'll be happy that you did. Moving on to the final one here, we got number 6. Yeehaw, way to go, you made it to the end. Delayed gratification. I'm sure you've heard about it. You probably practiced it before, but waiting a little bit longer. There's a great practice of like when you want something. For me, it's usually like, let's say another beer or something like that, or you want to go out, let's say for a vacation or something. Can you wait a little bit longer? Do you need it right now? So delayed gratification is big. Things like getting a new truck, getting a new boat, getting a new house, going on vacation, as I mentioned. So there's all these things that you'd love to do, you'd love to spend money on. Spending money can be easy. When you love investing more than you love spending, you will be financially rich. It's so important. And delaying your gratification on the things that you purchase, not keeping up with the Joneses, not having to, look like, even if you are $1 million contractor, I'm talking about $1 million in the bank that you own. Doesn't mean you have to look that way. The majority of millionaires drive, used vehicles. I'm not going to mention any names here because I know which type of truck is a hot topic. But anyways, older pickups. Not that you shouldn't look the part, but you know what I'm saying here is that by not burdening yourself personally with expenses, it leaves your business in a very much healthier financial state. So make sure that you are spending wisely. Go buy your toys, go have your fun, but do it when you can afford it, not, getting ahead of the 8 ball and just, going and buying a bunch of stuff. So, does that make sense? Check out links in the description below. So there are links in there to get a free masterclass course on how to build systems in your business. Financial systems is a big part of the business, but all the systems in the business make everything run smoothly, get you back your time, make you more profitable. Make sure you go check it out. And as always, we got new content, new videos coming out every week to help you grow your contracting business.